In the days when Babylon was the greatest city on earth, mankind lived in placid ignorance of the grandeur, vastness, and horror of the cosmos. Following apocalyptic events on Earth, the fragile veil between reality and the void was shattered and the truth of existence revealed. As mankind cried for salvation, they were torn from their home world by void torrents, and the surviving peoples of Earth were scattered among the stars. Countless were lost, and mankind seemed all but perished. Over the decades, the survivors, stragglers, and ragged remnants of mankind's tribes struggled for their lives across countless uncaring worlds. However, a few managed to go beyond mere subsistence and travel the void currents to congregate in fabled Llyhn, epicenter of the cosmos. And that is where our adventure is going to take us. We find ourselves in the Camellia district, one where the caste system looks down at the human descendants, the remnants, which struggle to survive. It is a place of decadence, of beauty, of wonder. People speak to each other, exchange words which cannot have a price point as they haggle with information. Among other things, such as beasts of war, creatures of darkness, relics, remnants, things important to cults as well as just average things such as food and what's required for nourishment. And this is where you all find yourselves, in this particular district where you are seeking a commune, a human commune to be a part of, something that's required to survive in this world. The gathering of humanity in these huddled remnants is the only way to kind of carve out a place, and maybe, just maybe, you even have hopes of gaining some semblance of power in this world. But this is where you're at, and in the kind of glow of the suns over the draped tapestries of several buildings, the shadows long and strange. Different creatures stare at you with multiple eyes as you walk down the streets. Let's figure out who you are, and why don't you introduce yourselves?
One of the people standing here is a haggard and weary-looking man in his late 50s. He's got black, but now graying hair and dark brown eyes. Muscular, and it's clear that he's someone who has had a long life of, well, doing violence, or trying to prevent violence, rather. The looks of a guard, really. He's got a short sword hanging by his side, and you can see his hand twitching a little bit as he looks around here, trying to ensure that there are no threats. Old habits die hard, and he's trying to fulfill the role that he has filled in his life thus far. And who is it that's with him here?
Well, there's a leader of the outfit. It's me, Hjalmar. Half-blood. Bronzed skin, green eyes that are a little bit more apart than any normal human would have them. Hair is dyed blue. Young. Female. My torso is covered in a thick cloth armor, but my arms that are slim and lanky, if you can be both those things at once, then that's what I am. Gazing around as well, with a hint of impatience in the air around me. If you look close enough, you might see the small blue freckles dotting my face and my skin, but from a distance they probably just look like birthmarks.
Finally, behind both of these individuals is a Siri. I am a slight individual wearing a common quite thick purple cloak, hooded. Underneath the cloak I have simple garb and a few daggers around my belt. My eyes are solid black, for I am a void marked, and so, while of original human descent, long changed by the void and proximity to the void. My skin is a strange speckled pattern of black and blue speckles. My hair, which I have little of, is quite short, is a coppery colour. And I appear... It's hard to tell the exact age, but if you were to guess, I do seem quite young. Maybe. I'm just walking quietly behind Sava, watching our leader lead. I'm quite happy for her to be at the front.
Indeed. And Sarvar he's a pure-blood human, still retaining all the looks that our species used to have before we came to this place, to this new city, to Llyhn.
Excellent. The location that you know of from your contact to get in contact with the human commune in this district, you know to go to the tavern known as Ari Jawani. People usually just call it Purple, though, primarily for the shades of purple draped over this lovely tavern, with kind of this gold inlays. This is one of the only taverns that allow anyone to feel like royalty, and even people as common as humans to feel some semblance of respect, as much as that is an important currency in this world. But it is before you, in its majesty, and its jewel here in the city.
Well, I am quiet as I observe the streets, and as I see the location on the horizon, I will say to Amara, what a lovely colour.
Yeah. Good thing it stands out, isn't it?
Well, purple is a subtle colour. It does not stand out so much as give an indication of the way, well, I taper off a little, which is something I often do in mid-sentence.
I look around for any people that we're supposed to meet here.
This is a bad area. We gotta be careful, and you can see me sort of scratching my arm and seem a little bit more nervous than usual, and patting my clothes also. I'm trying to make sure, hey, do I have the stuff with me?
You can see through one of the holes in the tavern, kind of this window just without the glass, made of clay and dirt and sand. But just beyond it, you can peer into the tavern where it has its wooden tables, various creatures, some you don't even recognize, sit about enjoying what looks like some sort of pipe. You see smoke rise out from their lips in this almost majestic indigo and purple. Some abide by these drinks in this clay cups. It looks a little bit hot. You can kind of sort of see the steam rising from it. And then you see her, Muau, this female Ja'il, who is a pariah here in the tavern. As a Ja'il, she is beautiful, this creature that somewhat resembles a humanoid, but is of purple color and has 4 eyes and a horn. Instead of the usual skin, you see almost like this carapace scales upon her shoulder, as well as a gold earring. She is currently speaking to one of the patrons with a smile and a laugh, kind of picking at her long fingernails with a dagger. But you know at least this person is friendly, and you know that this is who you've been looking for.
Oh, calm your twitchy fingers, you old sword licker. You checked your bag 3 times already. Look, that must be her over there.
Now, Amara, you never know. When next he checks his bag, who knows what horrors could await within.
I take my own sling bag and I just slang it across my back. Come on, let's get up to her. You said purple was a discreet colour.
And I'm keeping my my eyes out. I'm just making sure that it's all good. That there's no one waiting to jump us. This is a bad area. Oh, and I scratch my arms again.
Yeah, looking about, it's like any other place. It's difficult to see if you are ever the center of attention of some unearthly creature. The void kind of speaks in mysterious ways, and you can always feel the hairs on the back of your neck rise up in response to maybe something, but you're never quite sure if your paranoia is justified or not.
And starting to make my way over to Mualu. As I get closer, I feel a bit intimidated. She's quite the sight. I'm not very much of a looker myself, but, well, a lot of people say I have some sort of presence about me, so I try to stand straight and look as if I'm not affected at all.
Upon seeing you enter this tavern, a lot of the eyes shift over at you. The creature's kind of gaze meets yours, and you kind of see them sizing you up. Some, you can clearly see the detest towards your species by kind of the clutching and unclutching of their hands upon a sword. Others look at you with a passing interest, but this woman, the one that you are here for, she looks up with the smile that you probably haven't seen in a very long time. Not many people are interested in humanity, but Muau approaches, her eyes kind of glittering with interest as she looks at you. Coming up to you, she looks down, gazes at you through this veil of hair.
I try to not be affected by the gazes around me, and I try to look as cool as I can, but in my fingers, my retractable claws, a trait having been left within me due to my half-blood, are working frenetically back and forth. It's something that never seems to fully be under my control.
Greetings, little human. How can I help you today?
Well, good day to you. I'm Amara, and I assume you must be Mualu.
That is correct. And you might be?
Well, you see, we're looking for something that has been misplaced, an old relic from our culture, and it's high importance to us that it comes back to where it belongs.
Humanity is often looking for the remnants of that little blue planet that's several centuries away. Are you sure it's really a useful use of your time?
I step forward and smile, looking at Amara, and I say, "My friend is sometimes quick to speak, but worry not, this hides a great aptitude for, well, getting things done. But you know how it is. Be not it they who lie upon the ground."
Such wisdom. I, of course, welcome you here as royalty, despite your species, short-lived as they are. Come, sit at a table. Can I provide you anything?
I inch a little bit backwards as Asiri moves up. He's usually better at doing the talking, especially if it comes to negotiations, than I am. Might as well know my own role, and I idly pick a tooth with one of my claws. Well, yeah, some drink would be nice, I guess.
Of course, I'll have that brought up. How about the rest of you?
I am fine. I require no sustenance at this moment.
I'm good. I'm good.
Well, excellent. Being that in this place you are royalty, why don't you find yourselves at the cushions right there in the corner? It's a lovely little spot near the window. You can take a gander out to the streets. It's quite beautiful if you enjoy a bit of people watching. I, of course, have many patrons to take care of, but I'm sure what you are looking for will be here soon.
I start going over to the pillows that she has indicated, and the cushions, and I just nod at my two friends impatiently.
I move over, still smiling, although inward I'm a little concerned. I was expecting a response to the phrase I just said. I'm not sure if this means it's going to be relayed to someone else, or if maybe we have been misinformed about this individual.
Well, so far so good, huh? Alright. And I say, and I begin moving to the cushions, and I'm checking my bag again.
You packed everything? Are you sure? Don't want to take it one more time, perhaps?
Be fair to dear Savar. He is right to be concerned. Are you not concerned, dear leader, that she did not respond with the correct phrase?
Of course I am. Of course I am concerned. What phrase?
Leader, have you forgotten already?
Look, I've got my contacts in the area, so you talk to this one. I know at least two people here I think might be able to help us.
Very well then, leader. I will simply remind you, we were informed to find parties who would lead us to the one who can help us. We were to utter the phrase. They were then to respond. She did not respond. I do not know what that means yet. Maybe it's fine, and I smile.
Wrong person, probably.
Well, let's get... If someone comes that is suspecting us, maybe that's the one we're supposed to talk to anyways.
Perhaps. I sit on the purple cushion very awkwardly. After a moment, I remove it and sit on the harder surface underneath.
I fling myself among the cushions and look through my bag as well. Check that all my darts are there. I've packed lightly for this day. It's not supposed to be a long old field excursions that we're going on.
I just need to go relieve myself, guys. I'll be right back, I say, and I get up, and then I start to just moving away from the two. I need it. I need it now.
Yeah. You go. See if someone comes.
Yeah, I'll do that. I say, and I move out of purple and try to find some secluded, alleyway or something where I can indulge in my vice.
And you can, just across the street. There's a nice dark little alleyway. Twilight is falling, and thus the shadows kind of grow a little bit longer and stranger. Several people are in that alleyway, having similar thoughts as yourself.
I try to make myself as small as possible, and I bring up the ground powder, the hallucinogenic powder, the herbs that I've ground, and I sniff it, and I feel myself again. You know, the world changes a little bit, but I'm used to that. Yeah, okay. It's gonna be fine. And I begin making my way back to purple.
As you make your way back, unexpectedly you bump into another human. tall, dark, and kind of wearing these plain gray clothes. She has this long black hair tied up in a ponytail. She seems stressed, and as she bumps into you, she kind of takes aback a little bit as if she was expecting to be struck, and she looks at you. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm meeting someone I did not mean.
It's quite all right. And I look at her. It's, be not a day who lie upon the ground. Am I right?
You're right. And let the dogs of death feast upon their corpse.
Right in here, I say, and I begin leading her towards Purple and towards the cushions where my friends are seated.
Yeah, she places her hand upon your waist, kind of clinging closely to you and hurrying you along as she follows.
So, as I was saying, I'm not sure if Tarmo's information was actually correct. And then I look up and I see you approaching. Oh. Who are you?
This is who we're here to meet, I say quietly. And I go and sit, taking my place by the leader as the protector, not as the main person to speak.
Huh. I sit up from my cushion. Hello there. I'm Amara. What's your name?
My name is Sada. We don't have much time. As much as I wanted this to be a joyous, as much as it can be, occasion, things aren't right. You three have been implicated in some sort of attack in the district. There was these creatures slaughtered, each one whose wealth can't be accounted for, and the descriptions that is being passed around are of you three.
Oh, cunt cakes. What are we gonna... Okay, let's get up. Let's get out of here. Let's get somewhere else then.
Hold on, all right. And she looks around and kind of peers out the door. We need a strategy, something. This is not good at all.
Who is this? Who's framing us? For what? For killing people? What do they want?
Worse. For killing... Oh gosh, the Garab Guild. They trade in rare and far-seeking creatures, these phenomenons that are strange even to this world, that people pay to go see, like a zoo of some sort. And you are being targeted as a slaughter, and no doubt they have their henchmen out and about searching for you. And their justice will be swift.
Are these the people that stole the thing? Look, we don't have time for a... What do we do? Where can we hide?
I don't know.
Do you know people in this area?
I do. The ones who can help Kanara in the commune would love to do what they can, but we can't risk it. You have to figure something out on your own.
Just to clarify, I look at the woman, and again I repeat the phrase from earlier, curious to see what she says next.
And let the dogs of death feast upon their corpse.
I see, so you has been sent by Kanara.
Indeed.
Then we can trust you, that is good.
That is excellent. And as she kind of looks around, her eyes gazing about in this very hectic way, you noticed two large creatures, purple with scales and dark blue horns, these harith, who are moving this wooden box down the street in what seems just like a normal delivery. Starts to escalate in tension as they place the box right in the front of Purple itself. And you see chains interlocking holding whatever it is inside this box inside. Kind of this scratching and pawing from underneath, and you can see the sweat of various creatures start to pour from orifices as they look at what these Hadith are doing.
I stand up. I say to Amara, "Glorious leader, for the moment, maybe we should be getting out of this place as quickly as we can. We can trust this one, I think. We will obviously not be able to meet our contact until this is sorted." And then I go, is there a table nearby of perhaps a group of aggressive-looking creatures?
Oh yes, definitely. Not too far off are these sort of despicable-looking creatures, almost always sweating, always filled with moisture, gazing at you with these red eyes. And they have been for quite some time, knowing that peace is really just given due to where you are at in the patronage here.
I quickly move over to this group. As I do, my posture lowers. I am almost creeping, bowing, very supplicating, if you will. I speak clearly, but with an element of fear and respect in my voice. "Dearest masters, forgive the intrusion of this bug, but my masters outside wished me to deliver a message. It is quick, and then I shall leave your presence forevermore."
"Speak, creature."
"They wanted me to say," and I quiver a little, "that tell those in purple that they are weak fools, disgusting weak fools, and they dared you to come and dispute that with them." And as I say this, I hope that my ever so slight demonic whispers help make this statement just seem very, very true.
Excellent. Well, we will come to our first roll. For those who are listening, this is a D12 system. You add the relevant modifiers as well as the ranking, and you see how far you can go. So why don't you go ahead and roll for us and tell us what you are rolling.
Wonderful. So 1d12. Would this come under persuasion, would you believe?
I believe so, yes.
So I get a +1 naturally to persuasion. I also have the attribute spacious, which, when I'm trying to be persuasive, most of the time just gives me another +1. My question is, does also my demonic whispers talent do anything else?
Oh yes, definitely.
So what would the modifier be with all that into consideration?
So you have your D12 plus your +2 from persuasion, one from the persuasion and one from specious. You also have the ranking subterfuge, which has 1 dot in it, and then demonic whispers, which is the beguilement benefit. So why don't you go ahead and roll, and we'll see what happens.
Very well. I rolled a 6. So 6, 7, 8, and then 9 so far. Any other adjustments?
I believe that is it. So, as this individual is looking at you, you know it is not difficult to kind of inspire anger in specious, this sort of bigotry that you are used to, especially for your kind, despite being probably further from humanity than your other compatriots. And he looks at you, his eyes glowing with a sort of smoke from kind of the just right above his lashes, his eyelashes.
Too bad the messenger will die with him.
As he rises, the two others beside him, you see the door, the kind of wooden wall that's separating the box from the exterior fall open, and on the other side of it, this creature moving forward on 4 legs. Its talons seem far too long for it to be a creature that is agile and eloquent, but it moves with a sort of predatory manner that suggests that it wants to rip apart every living creature in this area. It has no eyes, but rather these sort of hard, almost wooden-like protrusions from its slimy body. And as it moves forward, you can almost hear a little clicking sound, this little...
As they approach, my hand, of course, had gestured in the direction of the entrance, so I am praying to whatever gods there may be in this world, that even though they've just said what they said, they were at least looking in that direction and have noticed this far more interesting target as I run back to the others and simply say, "Let us run."
I know. This way. I know someone.
Alright, let's go.
So, 2 of them look over, and immediately you kind of notice the moisture on their body glisten in response, an almost animalistic reaction as screams erupt from everyone in this little tavern. One of the creatures does reach out to grab you. So, do you have dodge? I don't think so in terms of skills, so why don't you go ahead and roll agility for me?
Oh no. 5.
Unfortunately, as you are running over to your companions, you feel a strong and wet hand grab you by the hand, and with strength you cannot fathom, hold you up in the air before this monstrosity, this red-eyed daemon of some sort, as he glowers at you.
Some sort of trick.
I simply wail and look to the others.
I try to quickly get around him to hit him from a blind spot, something to let him go.
And I'll join the leader in trying to free our friend. I am here to protect him after all.
Excellent. So, Amara, why don't you go ahead and roll stealth for us?
Yep. And so that's just my skill then.
Skill, it's always paired with attributes, so you would add your agility mod.
Alright, so it's +3 all in all. I roll a 6.
Unfortunately, you are not able to get into this individual's blind spot. He is very well aware that you are approaching, but it seems like he doesn't care. His sovereignty in this situation affirmed by his better nature. And how about Savar? What are you doing?
I move up to him and I have my hand on my sword and I say, just put him down. We just want to get out of here.
Yeah, put him down, you big oaf.
Why don't you go ahead and give me a presence roll, see if you can make him misstep.
I roll a 10 plus 0, so that's 10 then.
Excellent. So it seems like this individual, his eyes shifting over to you while he is still holding your companion, gives you just enough attention to not see the massacre that is occurring at the front of the tavern, and then this swift motion as Asiri is covered in this sort of wet bile, this blood, as this individual who has held him is split in 2, a long talon just shredding the flesh as both parties fall to the ground. This creature that was unleashed is upon the table, its talons digging into the wood as it moves its head, kind of craning about, trying to find its next prey.
Come on.
Get up, come on!
I stumble up from the ground and make to follow the others.
I'm going to try and lead us to one of my contacts. Maybe the Nakasti beggar, Akra.
Excellent. Yeah, so you guys are just heading out, leaving this tavern in ruins of the screams, able to go back through the kitchen and out into the street. You know, with the recent news, that everything is not going well for you at the moment. But maybe there is a way to turn this around. Maybe.
As we run and we make our way through the kitchens and out the back door, I turn back and I look over at Sava, looking at his current state. How do you look, what with having wandered off doing something?
If anything, I don't know, I imagine that I look more composed than before, as if I'm less nervous, as if I'm in where I'm supposed to be. But you see that my pupils are very, very dark and big, and there's something weird about me, but you've probably seen that before. But yeah, I seem to be in better shape than I was before I left.
Did they just set that loose to kill everyone, including us? That must be part of that Kurab guild.
Well observed, glorious leader. Your observational skills, as always, are on point. I say as I'm indignantly kind of settling my cloak back to where it was. I imagine my clothing having been scuffled a little by being held so roughly.
And covered in this foul-smelling, what could only be the creature's blood.
Is our companion still with us?
She is not. In the chaos of everything, survival was paramount.
We're on our own. We have to find safety. I mean, you have some contact you can take us to, yeah?
I know someone.
Yeah, I also have a hideout. If we can make our way to Salvation Square, that's another option. But let's go find your contact first. But I think, as she said, we're on our own, and they're gonna try and kill us. They're gonna try and frame us for this thing.
Noted. Good to know. All right, we might hide out there as well, but I think we need more clues first.
Yes, glorious leader. We shall need more information, but I feel best we get to your friend first. With the guild on our tail, our contact will not be accepting us, and as you know, that means we have, at this point in time, no one. But please do lead the way.
This way, in there. Oh, don't worry. Someone will come to our aid, I'm sure. I try to find my way to the alley where I know that Akra would usually be hanging about.
So with the chaos and sorts, you see lots of people kind of running in that direction. Mostly out of curiosity than sort of any desire to assist. But as you're moving around and such, why don't you guys give me one of you give me a stealth test.
Can I use my streetwise, by the way, in any way? I have a skill in that.
Yes, that would definitely work for this.
Alright. So I have 2 dots in that. What would I roll for if I roll for streetwise?
I think what would be most appropriate is either your intellect, agility, or awareness, depending on kind of how you are approaching this.
Right. Well, it's about moving quickly and knowing where not to go, so I will try to use my agility in that case, and streetwise, which would then give me +3 on the roll, and I shall roll, and that gives me an 8. 5 + 3.
For the most part, it feels like your passing has gone unnoticed, but you know some of the times you've been a little bit sloppy. Maybe crossing a certain street, you bumped into an individual and there was a slight situation that had to quickly be sidestepped, but just enough to probably give pause and have a few eyes look you over. But you've made your way to that alleyway. Your contact is kind of shrouded between 2 buildings, a game of dice being played before them.
I look to Sava. And then, yes, are we here? This is safe?
Yes. This is where you said your contact would be, right, Hjalmar?
Yeah, they're usually in this area. Let's see. And I start calming down and sort of folding more into the crowd after having been rushing, and Salvar having taken the lead into a side alleyway, and now I step up again and I look around for them, for Akra.
Excellent. Looking around, you notice in that same alleyway a pair of familiar dice. One that you know that Akra carries around every now and then when they want to occupy their time with games.
I nod to myself, smiling, and I approach.
Akra kind of looks up at you under the hood and smiles. Well, look what we have here.
Oh, it's good to see you. It's been a while. How have you been?
A little bit of this, a little bit of that. But right now, my time is occupied by what seems like quite a dilemma for you.
Yeah? You know about that already?
Oh, yeah. The call went out a few hours ago. The guild, as it were, has put a nice little bounty on your head.
Of course, everyone knows except us. So the Karab Guild, is it?
Yeah, the Karab Guild. Yeah, what'd you do to piss them off?
Well, we didn't do much. Rather, someone did, and we're trying to find out who. It's about, it's an old relic. An old earthly relic. It's important to our people. We're trying to reclaim it. Someone has taken it. And I'm guessing this Karab Guild has something to do with it.
Relics, eh? I mean, that sounds like, And you're not guilty, you say. I mean, sounds like the siren song of every guilty man.
Of course. Nah, we haven't been in this area. We were doing something else at that point. I don't even know when it was, but it definitely wasn't us. I sit down and I pick out my... Are you playing or what? I realize I don't have my dice with me.
Yeah, just throwing of the old bones, seeing what comes up and whether or not I want to get involved.
What have you seen for us then?
It doesn't look good, my friend. I mean, as much as the portents and fortunes might dictate something pleasant in your future, I can't help but think that the guild, by the end of the day, is going to have you strung up.
It certainly seems likely. I lean forward a little. The question is, why us? We are no one.
Akra, this is Asiri. That one over there is Sava.
I nod.
Companions of yours, are they to be trusted?
Oh yeah, we're all here for the same sake. Oh, this one's a slippery one. I nod towards Asiri. He always knows a bit more than he says. But I trust him for this. And I wink at you.
I simply smile, remarking, on the contrary, I know very little really. Smiling at Amara as my demonic whispers sort of just hopefully plants. Of course, I know little really.
Your contact kind of smiles. A good group you have here. At least companions to be implicated in such a tragic event.
Yeah, what do you know about the ones that got killed?
There were reports of the capture and sale of animals too dangerous to contain. The Gurav Guild claims no responsibility, but there was an incident recently where the residents had to slay some dreadful creatures being transported. Now, this is something that occurs here and there, and really it's just the whole business of kind of marketing out these horrific creatures. I think it's playing with fire, if you ask me.
Oh, Assyri knows all about the fire. I point at the state of his outfit.
Yes, I've been set on fire several times. No, I'm curious. What exactly is the word on the street again? What exactly have we been accused of? We are the ones, they say, who attacked these animals? Or robbed the animals?
Oh, well, you and your compatriots murdered several of these creatures. Now, of course, the murdering really isn't that important. It's about the cost and the fact that you killed something of the guild. It's quite unfortunate. I know that you don't have the money to pay them off, and most likely for your insult, they will construct some sort of torture and then rip your souls out from your body and...
Oh yes, quite grisly. Does anyone know who told them this? Who was the voice? Who were the witnesses who said it was those three?
Sadly, I don't know. You'll probably have to go to the source if you can. Or maybe seek someone else out. As for me, I'm still pondering that bounty on your head.
That's a good point, though, Assyri. Someone else might have just shouted the strange word to guide them in the wrong direction, and it has nothing to do with the idol at all. We're looking for a small thing. Do you know anything about it? Do you know anyone who trades in such, like, earthly artifacts?
Well, if it's something in the realm of relics, my dear friend, obviously, you're gonna have to go to some of the more well-off individuals, the jinn, as it were, but they're not people you want to gauge in without forethought. And certainly not something you want to do with this hanging over your head. No. If I were you, I would clear my name so that people can look upon you as the dreadful humans that you are instead of the wonderful price tag that you are now.
So where do we find the slanderers then? Like Assyri said as well. Do we know who has been giving this information to them?
No, it seems we're going to have to go to the scene of the crime. Somehow. We'll have to do it quickly. Sarva, are we able to get there during the day? We might need to wait for nightfall.
Night is always better, but what do I think? Can we get over there without getting more, causing more eyeballs to be turned in our direction?
It'd be difficult. From kind of the way this person is describing the event, it seems like the description definitely matches you three, especially the freckles and the slight variations of skin tones. For the pure blood, it's a little bit more generic, and really, probably the pure blood is really just guilty by association. At least it sounds like. But there might be a way over, and you do know that possibly there are other avenues, such as speaking with the other exotic animal distributors and those who are involved in that business. Might be a way in.
Yeah, and I relay that to the others. Yeah, maybe we could talk to the others who deal in these kinds of animals. Perhaps they can give us some kind of clue about what's going on here.
Sounds like a good idea. I turn to the beggar and I look at Amara. I just step one step closer. Are you certain There is nothing more you can do to help us poor unfortunate souls, not for myself, of course, but for your dear friend, who you know has done so much for you in the past you wouldn't want to lose. That would you? And I will attempt to cast my single known phenomena, Compel.
Of course, with the Gnostic sort of mysticism, there's always kind of this little maybe chant underneath your breath, and something that you can do even while talking. It's a sort of very well practiced ability, as well as maybe some hand gestures, but it's really kind of personal to you. So what's kind of that personal look to this?
It is, I feel, a small fidgeting of the hand. I know that those who know might be able to detect that, so I often put said hand further into my cloak, so that I'm doing it underneath the cloak. Simple hand gestures, angular in shape, as I sway a little, casting this, phenomena on this individual.
Excellent. Alright, well, go ahead and roll a d12.
How does this work? It says in the description that this is a difficulty 10 plus victim's willpower mod roll. What does that mean?
Yeah, so I have the DC based on their willpower. Of course, if you roll below the 10, it just won't happen at all. But when you roll for something like this, when you're manifesting, you are adding your ranks in it. So if you see your power right there.
So I have 2 in Gnostic and 3 in Sphere of the Mind.
Yeah, so Gnostic is the thing that allows you this sort of power. So you're looking at that Sphere of Mind. So that's at rank 3. And you are rolling your willpower.
2 plus 3 is 5.
Oh, unfortunate. There's this kind of glaze over this person's eyes as he looks at you, as you kind of see your magic, or this sort of mysticism wrap around his mind, and he looks at you as he shakes it off. How? Sorry, I must have drifted off there for a second.
That's quite alright. He was just saying that you owe me quite a bit, so I'm just hoping that you won't try to, like you said there, try to engage in this false bounty.
Yeah, I owe you that much. I won't speak a word, at least for the next hour.
Oh well, I owe you lots, don't I? Such a faithful friend, I say, and I stay up. Come on, let's go see if we can find someone to talk to. You don't have any directions you want to point us in, do you?
I'll say this. There's a man named Samang near the gladiatorial arenas, as well as a theater here in the district. You could probably find them over there, and he trades in these sort of exotic creatures. You might know something.
Thanks a lot, Akra. I'll be seeing you around, and you let me know if you need something taken care of, won't you? You know what I do.
You got it. Just know that this information cost you about 15 minutes.
15 minutes it is.
Good luck, man.
See you.
As we begin to depart, I say to Amara, your contact was so very helpful.
Yeah, they are, weren't they? Got a few names there. Got a few pieces of advice. But, I think we better keep the tempo. I'm not sure how far I trust them to keep their mouth shut.
I wouldn't trust them very far. We better get while the getting's good.
I start leading us towards the area of the gladiatorial arenas and theatres.
You have listened to an episode of Red Moon Roleplaying, where we played Black Void, with Mitchell Wallace from Penny for a Tale as our game master. This was a sponsored session commissioned by the fine folks at Black Void Games. The music was from the official Black Void soundtrack, as well as tracks made by Aegersonus. Aegersonus was used with permission from their label, Cryochamber. Visit cryochamber.bandcamp.com or their YouTube channel for more music for your games. We would like to give massive thanks to our champions of the Red Moon, Martin Heuschober, Nastasia Raulerson, Simon Cooper, David, Julia, and David Hagberg for their generous support. And we would of course also like to thank all of our other patrons. Without your support, this show would not be possible. If you want to support our work, please check us out on Patreon. You can get access to bonus campaigns for Cultivanity Lost and Coriolis there, as well as get early and raw access to all of our recordings. You can also hear your name read on the show as a champion of the Red Moon, as well as play Cult with us. Most importantly, that support is what keeps the show going, so do check us out there. Thank you for listening, and remember, survival is only the beginning.